Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let's give a brief little review. Now, in the last part, a number of events have happened. Deku, him, Bakugo, Mina, Kai, and Kendo, they have done one simple thing. They went to the orbital station after investigating a downed plumber craft, and two messages were found. One talking about the importance of the Omnitrix, and another message that has finally arrived on to Earth. Now, the message was simple. They needed to go up to the Plumber orbital station and realign the communications array on board. They might either be damaged or down. And this task, it was an easy one. However, they had to sneak aboard the station. And when they arrived, they expected to encounter anything, but they encountered nothing. And Izuku, it quickly began to dawn on him, after he began to look over records, access data, and look over everything. This was a trap, and they walked right into it. The DN aliens lit up the orbital station and took that thing down. And just before the room they were in depressurized and all of them were sucked out into space, Deku turned into cannonballs. While Mina and Kendo were worried about getting them all hooked up together while the station was shaking and zero gravity was enabled, Deku, he had a plan to try and get them back down to Earth. However, he was hoping it would work. And surprise, surprise, he's getting better at improvising, even though he hates it. And Kentaro, he picked them up a few hours later and told them about what was happening. While Izuku was laying there with an ice pack, something to help him recover with the pain, he heard about how the hybrid invasion is happening in 3 days from the information he has seen. Meanwhile, right now, the rest of the universe, some parts of it are already dealing with the invasion. And that is not good. And with that being said, Deku has a lot of things complicated in his life. Kendo, half alien, half human. For most of her life, it was normal. Yes, she learned about how to maintain her calmness, to maintain her physical form. If she panics too much, she begins to take on a sludge-like, if not watery texture. She's learned how to at least maintain parts of her emotions and stay sane whenever it comes to being rational about rational things. But let's go over the list. Bounty hunters, intergalactic tyrants, aliens hell-bent on taking over the universe, time travelers. Need I go on? The fact that he had his hands severed and his body stuck in another dimension while it found her at a park. His life is the farthest thing from normal ever. He was her first boyfriend, and she felt bad about breaking up with him. Yes, she needed a break, but she didn't want to just say a break. I mean, she wants to make this work. She really does. She really likes this guy. But now he's trying to defend their planet. And from what she's heard, she needs to help. And we do currently have about the next day, if not the next afternoon, where the Rust Bucket, it does get to pull up to a very old location. A place far from home. Actually, ironically, the opposite. As currently the door does a swing open, and Ken does a step out and suck in a breath, getting a feel of that old country air. Hey, I'm going to turn, talking about it, as right now Inko, Hasashi, Mr. Ashido, Mrs. Ashido, and Mitsuki, they do begin to step out. And there actually is Kai, who does go to somewhat stand there. Her going to express about a few things. And Hasashi, he does look around, seeing that the old farmhouse, it's not changed at all. Not changed at all since it's been built. Though they haven't been here in a while. And there actually is Deku, who would go to walk out of the RV and look up, as Ken does try to tell all of them about it. They might all be staying here for the next few days. He's already tried to explain the situation as best as he can, but the more he explains it, the more complicated it's going to be. And currently, he will get a turn. A vehicle pulling up as there is where a couple, they do just don't step out. Currently, Mr. Oh god, what's Kendo's last name? Whatever. Kendo's dad steps out, along with his wife. And Kendo herself would get out of the car as the man does that turn. Him walking over and trying to express a few things. He's happy they were invited here. If there is going to be an invasion of Earth, someplace rural would be good. Someplace that wouldn't be attacked first. It's a nice gesture. Though at the same time, he does have his own concerns. Exactly what's going to happen when Earth is invaded, and Ken would try to express. Currently us cutting to Izuku, who would go to walk out of the RV and over to the house. Currently him turning his head and looking at the nearby forest. Since he remembers when things weren't so complicated. Definitely not so complicated. Currently Mina going to walk up the stairs, asking if he's okay. Not really. We have 2 days before the invasion. Yeah. It's gonna be a whole thing. So, we've got a new member of the group? Oh, yeah, sorry. I invited her out of a reflex. I was already inviting everybody else. Along with that, she's kind of... I know, Izuku, I know. Don't worry about it. Though, well, I just wanna... Kendo walking up, talking about it. She is a bit confused about a lot. This place is so weird. Not used to being outside the city? Not usually. I mean, I've been camping, but this place is out here. It is. Funny enough, I found the Omnitrix out in those woods. I turn a point. And Kendo does turn her head. Her asking if that's true. It is. Her turning to Mina, who would continue on, talking about how her grandpa's place isn't too far away. It's nice. Really? Yeah. It's just my parents still own it after he passed. Oh, it's okay. Listen, we might have to look around, see how much stuff is still actually working here. Do you think that the ATVs still work? They should, but we might be a little bit too big for them. Doubt it. Kendo goes on smile, talking about how she's willing to help out on this, and the two do a good turn to her. Him expressing maybe she should stick around with her parents for right now. I mean, his grandpa's probably going to tell them a few things. She can join them out in the barn pretty soon, though. People still have to arrive, and they've still got at least find out if this place is still good. Last time he checked, Grandpa did have to do some work on the house. Okay, but we really should talk, Izuku. I know. Just listen, I'm still a bit out of it from the other day. There's a lot going through my head, and I know it's just sorry. I'll let you gain your thoughts, okay? Just let me know when you have time. Her and I turn after hearing her father call out for her to come over here, since they should help unpack with their guest. Fact of the matter is, their guest here. So, at least try to show a bit of hospitality towards the people currently hosting them. And their actions where Kendo's mother does not smile, since the man is a little strict about showing those manners. She has helped him out with that a lot. And currently, their action is Deku, who does make his way out to the barn to try and check on a few things. And right after opening the door, he does a step inside. Him looking around and feeling a bit of nostalgia come over him. A lot of nostalgia. Though there's also some panic, some worry. Okay. Just try to focus. Try to keep things clear and try not to. He should contact Asmith. See if he's okay. But Asmith should be fine. He's Asmith. He can teleport across the known universe. So if he does run into trouble, then he'll be out of there quickly. Or he'll contact him. Or he'll say something. That guy's supposed to be smart. But no one ever said he wasn't stubborn. Okay. Izuku, just calm down. Calm down. You're fine. You're okay. Deku turning his head, hearing Mina ask him if he is fine. Sorry. I'm just... Listen. Can I ask you something? Sure. Her turning, closing the door behind her as she said look, turning her head and casting a bit of a spell. Currently the lights going to come on. And Deku turns his head looking at that. Since the light that was flickering above him, it stopped, while the other one, it is still glowing brightly. Her stepping in and asking exactly if they're gonna talk about any of this. You know? Right. I was hoping to save it till after the invasion. You know, it's sort of complicated. Complicated? I understand that. But you kissed me. We danced. We had fun. We had a moment. And you didn't kiss me then. I didn't try. I know. Listen, Mina. I do want this to be a thing, but there'll be a knock on the door. Currently, it being pulled open as the two dudes don't stand there. And Bakugo, he does go to talk about it, asking if he can park his car in here. Besides, he's got a few things they might all like. And Mina turns her head, her glaring at Bakugo as Bucko brings his hand up, and Kai does stand there with her arms folded. We're going to turn, looking at Bucko as he does still look a bit confused. And Deku does a turn, asking exactly what he got. Yeah, listen. Your Gramps gave me a bit of a list. I got some stuff, and it took me not too long, though I did have to talk to one of my friends. I'm going to turn, and going to introduce Argent. Currently, Deku looking down at the... That is a rat man. Yeah, nice to meet you. Listen, I told him he could stay here. Told him about the invasion. Fact is, he could hook us up with a lot of good stuff. And if he does try anything, I made him well aware to one thing. Argent bring his hands up, stepping forwards, talking about how he heard about the invasion of Earth. Listen, he's willing to hook them up as long as he has a place to hide. Or even a way to get off planet. Does he know anyone who might be able to help with that second request? It's the preferable method. No. And if you don't mind, I would have liked you guys to stay out of this for a minute. Me and Mina were... You were what? It's personal. Kai gonna turn and asking Mina if she wants to help her out for a minute. I mean, maybe, help her with a few things inside. What do you mean? Give me a hand? Oh, sure. Her gonna run over, and the two do gonna make their way into the house. Since they do have a few things they might need to fix, along with the fact that Kai does want to have a chat with her friend about something, and there currently is Bakugo, who does go to tell Izuku about what they've got to be doing. And they do mean to spend the day hooking up security turrets, along with making sure they've got the proper supplies, this place is up and running well, and they've got everything set up. Now, the barn, the house, and the field, it is secure. As long as they're aware, there should be a perimeter fence. Anything that comes in, they'll be alerted. And everyone, they do just want to celebrate this long day of work with a barbecue. And they do go to get up bright and early the next day, doing the exact same thing. And the invasion, it's going to be happening tomorrow. They all stayed up a bit late, thinking about it. And it's going to happen again. Currently, that being on Deku's mind. This time around lunch, they do finish up a few final things, double checking the perimeter and making sure things are okay. Currently, us having Accelerate standing there. Before he does, goes run forwards and directly through the perimeter area. Deku going to run forwards and gonna turn. Him running to his left as Executor Blaster does a fly out towards him. Him activating his brakes and turning. Him throwing out his leg and spinning it around him. Currently, him bolting to the right as he does continue moving. And Ken, he is staring at the monitor. Him looking at a lot of things and seeing the inputs. As the Executor Blast is sent out as Deku, he is to begin to zigzag his way through many of them. Currently, him running up to the area and to the spot that is out of the turret's maneuverability range. And Deku does stand there, before telling his grandpa about how he's pretty sure they're all operational. Him stopping, and there actually is where another blast can be heard. Deku turning his head as he does, going to bolt forwards and away. Him sidestepping the attack as he goes to turn, yelling about how he said to turn them off. And Ken does go press the button. Currently him apologizing, since that turret does have a bit of a delay, and that does need to be fixed. Right. Okay. So you can track me? Uh huh. And everything else can do a lot. Mm hmm. We've got it all up and running, Izuku. Now, that just means you have the rest of the day. Yeah, it does. Something on your mind, champ? It's personal. Making a stand. Currently, him walking over as Deku does a revert back to a human. And Ken does try to ask him about what could be on his mind. I mean, he knows personal, and he's well aware of what might be clouding your mind before you go into battle. He's lost a lot of friends to Vilgax, a lot of people, a lot of things he wishes he could say, and a lot of things he wishes he could take back. Along with that, there's also a lot of things he wishes he could have told Mark. A lot of things that that man wishes he could say. If he has something on his mind, the easiest thing to do would be to get it off his chest. And Deku does just want to tell his grandfather. The whole thing is, him and Mina were having a moment yesterday. Oh, what do you mean? Grandpa, it's just. What I mean is, ever since me and Kendo broke up, me and Mina have been getting closer. Along with that, I found out she likes me, and after Alien X and everything there, I pushed down my feelings for her because I thought I was being unprofessional. Trust me, Izuku, I understand it. In fact, I had a bit of a similar feelings for Eileen. And how did that end? Well, you're old enough to hear about the rest of the story, but I never did tell you how it really did begin, did I? You've told me a few things, but I'm not sure if the way you're putting that I want to hear it. Listen, Izuku. Emotions get high. A lot of things are, you know, strange. If you want to tell her how you feel, you've got to tell her. Though at the same time, you've got a few girls to talk to. If you're talking about Luma, I'm still trying to clear that all up. No, no, not Luma, Izuku. I'm talking about Kendo. How about you do this? You try to make sure the girl you get with and you get more emotional with doesn't get attacked by your ex who you're trying to be friends with and now is trying to rebuild that relationship with you. Right. No, you are making sense, Grandpa, but Lenopins aren't don't they have a tendency to you know, overreact sometimes? Izuku, everyone has a temper. Some people can control it better. Though you and Kendo are well acquainted. Talk to her and just let her down easy. Though she also is a teenager. And all of you guys do tend to get pretty emotional. Right, Grandpa, I got it. Okay. Thanks for the pep talk. Right. And Izuku. Hmm? What is it? Just be careful. What do you mean? Be careful. Romance, especially with some alien girls, That's a bit tricky in some cases. Take it from a professional. Uh, thanks, Grandpa. Anyway, I turn and leave. And Ken, he does just not keep that smile on his face. And the moment Zuko does have his back turned and walking away, he does have his face somewhat drop. Because he is worried. He's worried about some of the plumbers he knows who are out there. If the nearest plumber facility to Earth has been destroyed already. If a few people he doesn't know are alive, if they're dead. He's a magister. And then there's Eileen. Is she alive? Is she well? Is she dead? He's seen her again. But ever since he came back to Earth, that's been a little bit more complicated. Trying to keep things up here. That's definitely something else. Should he try and reach out for her? See how she's doing? Maybe after the dust settles. Maybe. Though, And right now, Ken, he does a turn. Since he probably should make something to eat. People might be hungry. And especially after all this work today, they've definitely worked up their own appetite. And we do currently have Deku, who does gonna make his way back to the house and walking into it. Currently, him looking around for Kendo. And Kendo, which is a turn seeing Izuku, she does gonna walk over. Her asking him if he's okay. She heard of that firing outside. It's the automated systems. Are you free? Oh, uh, yeah. Just my dad was teaching me how to use a weapon. Though, my hands, her holding them up. And Deku does look down at that. Right. Listen, you want to chat? Let's go for a hike. I know a good trail. And the two, they do to leave. Currently, Kendo, at least, waiting a bit. The two get down the path. Before she does, they start to talk about it. So, Earth, huh? Yeah. Is. Are we gonna. Do you think that we'll lose? Honestly, it's a coin toss. We don't lose, but we definitely don't win either, from what I know. Things have changed, though. I can feel it. Is that good or bad? I want to say it's good. I really do. I just. I don't know. I don't know. Kendo, I appreciate you coming back. Her eyes don't perk up. As she does talk about it. She just needed some time to cope with that information. You know? It's just. Let me finish, please. Listen. I appreciate you want to make this work. I really do. You could have rejected me the moment you found out I had the Omnitrix. You could have ran, even. But you didn't. You told me your secret right there on the spot. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Made my life feel a little less crazy. Though, knowing yours was a little crazy too helped. This is so. I'm sorry. This is harder than I thought it would be. What? Kendo, I can understand you taking time. Just say you need time. You broke up with me. I didn't. I wasn't. No, I understand it. But how about just, hey, can you give me a minute? Communicate with me. Tell me something. Let me know what's going on with you. Don't just shut me out. You were willing to tell me you were an alien, but you weren't willing to let me explain myself. The time travel thing, I never dealt with that, but, well, that's not entirely untrue. I have time travel before, but to the future. Listen, that was crazier than the other time. I. God. No, both times are still crazy. Just as crazy. You get what I mean. Paradox was new. My first time traveler, I guess, besides myself. Or technically Mina. And that does kind of bring me to my next point. Me and, well, Mina are, um, well, you guys are what? Listen, Kendo, I do want us both to be friends, and I won't lie to you. Mina and I have been getting closer. I'm gonna turn. And Kendo, we're gonna turn stop. Her gonna look at Izuku and asking him, what does he mean closer? It's just, she was there for me. She was my friend. I've known her for years and I do care about her. A lot. I care about a lot of people. She's been there by my side and, well, me and her have talked about it a bit. We might start dating, okay? Kendo staring at Deku. Her mind trying to process that information. Before. Uh, oh. I. I didn't. Her staring at Deku. And Deku, we're gonna watch her form so it ripple like water for a second. It going to stabilize out as it does a ripple again. Her going to turn and bolt off towards the house. And Deku, he does watch her form somewhat deteriorate. However, he also does hear her hyperventilating a bit as she's gonna run off. And Deku, he. Hopefully that was okay. Okay. That one was definitely bad. He'll let turn. Bring his hand up and thinking about taking the Omnitrix for a bit of a run. Or check to see if Mina's okay first before heading out. If there is going to be a fight, then let there be a fight. No, stop the fight. Mina can take care of her own self, but still. Okay. Him, gonna turn into Big Chill, flying into the air and heading back. And currently, there actually was Kendo, who she was trying to at least keep herself together for a bit. She sat in the barn, processing the information. She knew trying to build this relationship with Izuku again would be difficult. She knew it would be hard. Her dad told her before, don't get your hopes up. He could have already moved on. Though he was crazier. His life was crazier than hers. She wasn't too sure. I mean, he never brought up anything like that. Though he did reject her advances, so it was some of the first signs. Though now she just feels like an idiot. That in her mind. Currently, her just burying her head into her knees and trying to figure this all out. And we do have later. Deku he got an invite from Kai and Bakugo. The two talked about having a little bit of a party last night before the alien invasion. You know, only the small chances could be the end of the fucking world, right? So, let's party. And currently, this was going through Bakugo's mind. Now, there actually was Mina, who talked about a place they could go to. And whenever Bakugo pulled up and saw the house, he was intrigued. All alone out here? Good. No one around to interrupt them? Good. And a place where they can just drink and blare music? Sounds like a party. So there's definitely that. Now, Bakugo, he does mean to unload some stuff. And Mina does walk into her grandfather's house. Currently, Bakugo talking about what to do. Him going to set down something directly out of the trunk. Him talking about it. As he does ask Izuku if he can get forearms over here, since it's going to be a bit difficult to unload some of this stuff. And Deku does comply. Him coming over and helping them get stuff unpacked. And the party, it does soon begin. Currently, them blaring some music and drinking, along with the fact that they do also decide to try and play a few games to pass the time. Now, Bakugo, he is having some fun. However, he also started to ask Izuku about where that one girl is that he was dating. And Deku doesn't really know how to respond to that. I'm trying to tell Bakugo. Kendo and him talked. You two get back together? Not really, no. Right. Listen, Kai told me about it later, but you and her were having a chat the other day, right? You and Mina? Yeah, we were. Sorry for interrupting. Had I known, I would have waited. Though, I know me and Kai definitely need to have a chat. We've sort of been, uh, talking about a few things. Getting all shy? Shut up. Just saying, Bakugo. You and Kai do tend to flirt a lot. Besides, you got a few things in common. Right. I know. So what? Date her. Go for it, man. She might stop teasing me and Mina. Right. Sure she might. Speaking of Mina, I think she is inside. You might want to talk to her. Deku going to stand. Him dying the rest of his liquid courage, trying to think of a few things. And currently, he doesn't hear the door open, turning his head and seeing Kai, who does go to hold up two fresh drinks and looking at Bakugo. Him bringing his hand up, waving her over, as Deku does to walk away from the area. And whenever he does so, Kai will get to take her seat next to Bakugo. Her going to turn and hold out a drink to him, before making a comment Izuku does not hear. And we do actually have inside, where Deku, he does look around. Mina? Him not seeing her in the kitchen. Mina? Him going to walk down the hallway, turning and knocking in the bathroom. And she's not in there, okay. I'm going to turn, walking a bit further down and seeing the door. Him trying it and finding it locked. Before he does that turn, thinking if she might be in her well, room here. She did stay at her grandpa's place sometimes, so it could be that. Wait, my turn. This should be the room, right? Shit. He might be a little drunk, but he doesn't remember the layout of this place. Mina, can you open the door? I want to talk to you. Her bring her hand up. Her moving her hand as the doorknob does it unlock. Him going to open the door, turning, closing it behind him. Amina does sit there, asking if things are okay. She's sorry. She just wanted to take a second away from the party. Not really much of a party. We're all just hanging out before the end of the world. You make it sound so glam. Sorry. Before they attempt to invade the world and we don't know what happens. Her turning to look at Deku, and she can see it. His nerves. They're shot. He's not sure if he can keep up that false bravado. And she's not too sure either. There's a lot she wants to say. And she's going to bring her hand up. Her holding it out to Izuku before he's going to look away. And Deku, he does a walk over. Him sitting down on the bed with Mina. Before the two, they do to hold hands. And they do sit there quietly for a second. The music blaring outside. And she will get a turn, asking if they can try and finish that chat. It's just there's a lot of things she wants to say. I know. Me too. I'm sorry. For what? For being dense? I don't know. I just I'm happy you're here with me. Okay? I'm happy that I guess things are getting sorted out. I'm happy about that too. Though, I know you've been hyperfixating on this whole prophecy stuff. You know, not to bring it up again, but with your grandpa. Yeah, I like to think I changed that. Maybe you did. Maybe. I'm not here to talk about that though, Mita. Let's deal with that tomorrow. We've got a lot of things to deal with tomorrow. Right. Tonight is just us. Finally. For the first time. Really, it's just us. No one here to interrupt. Yeah. The two staring at each other. And Deku isn't really too sure. He's nervous. So is she. And she's just scared. Got a lot on her mind. She's somebody who uses magic. Somebody who found out she's a third alien. Or a third? Yeah, maybe. 75% human, 25% anodite. However the genetic lottery works for all that. And she's just trying to figure out what to do. Though, there's one thought that has been on her mind. And she's not sure she wants to think about it. How does the battle go down? How do they win? Is it Alien X? Or can there be another way? And currently she got a turn. Her telling Izuku that just she's not gonna bring that up. Hmm? What is it? Just can we? Her gonna lean forwards. Her pulling Izuku into a hug, and he does understand. Him holding on to Mina and bringing his own hands up, and the two they do embrace. Before Deku, he has to pull his hand back. Him going to bring it up as Mina does continue to hold on to him. Him bringing his hands up to her shoulders before pulling away a bit and seeing Mina in the face. She's blushing. And currently, the two both go to lean in. Them beginning to kiss. And right now the two, they just want to spend some time together. Some time alone. They just want to find out what this is. Know what this is. Because this could be the last chance to know. If Deku doesn't use Alien X, tomorrow, the world's over. Even if he does, he'll be trapped like that for how long was it again? 3 months, 5 months on their end? So that means they have to find another way to win before he rewrites reality. Or finds a way to come back. It's a little terrifying. And the two, they do stay there, spending those moments that do begin to tick away. And right now, we do currently have the hybrids, who they are continuing their conquest of the universe. And they've already began to do quite a lot. And we do actually have over on Galvan Prime, where the Galvan homeworld, it does have the hybrid armada currently enter their orbit, them descending upon the planet like moths to a flame. Or, well, let's just put in another analogy. Flies to a rotten fruit. Them beginning to swarm it. Because they have one plan. To annihilate everything on the surface of this planet. With that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.